and welcome back to My Lady. So we left off right here. I sat back down at my desk and watched Sophie place down the plate of tea sandwiches and tea in front of me over the tray Alexander had brought me.
Any fancy mail today, ma'am?
Yeah, I got a bunch of letters. We'll talk about Mother, talk about Suter, talk about Kay. No, let's talk about Kay, because that one's more confusing. I received the strangest letter today.
Oh? What's up, ma'am?
My mother. No. Well, that was one of them. It's like a riddle of some sort. The lady exits the pumpkin carriage.
A pumpkin carriage? Like in that Cinderella fairy tale?
Mm-hmm. I assume so. Then it says Queen to Bishop.
That's fairy tales, not chess? What is this loony thinking?
I shook my head, unsure of how to answer. I didn't know myself. The letter was indeed odd, and if Sophie and Alexander couldn't figure it out, then there was no way I was going to.
But that doesn't make a lick of sense if you ask me. Are you sure it wasn't the wrong address?
No, it was the right address. I took out the envelope to check once again. It didn't magically change, and it was still addressed to me. No, it was indeed addressed to me.
That's very strange, ma'am. Anything else?
I have a new suitor.
Ooh, a new suitor! What's his name? What's his name?
I knew you were going to be excited. Isaac Newport.
Newport? Has the Newport law affairs?
Sure. You've heard of Newport?
You're damn right I have. They're a new lawyer family coming up from out of nowhere. Only the peasantry like me know about them, though. They specialize in helping poor families with houses and such.
Dang, I should have just asked Sophie. Is that so? That was very interesting. The Newport family was a new family to look forward to gossip about at parties and events, of course. Hopefully, there would be enough talk about them to ignore me. I wasn't a fan of the parties the rich families around me hosted. I should have said that with an attitude.
Anything else?
Yeah, Mother. Well, my mother's coming home today.
So I heard. The kitchen hands are going crazy at the news.
They already know.
Of course. Abby practically memorizes your mother's schedule. That strange kitchen woman.
That is a little bit creepy. The fact that Abby knows the schedule? That's true.
Anything else?
Nah. I sighed and enjoyed my snack. The tea was almost perfect and the sandwiches were very sweet. But I appreciated Sophie's work. Despite it being despite it being a minimal task, she did it with love.
So, Mum, what are you going to wear for your mother when she arrives?
I don't know, nothing. I sat in silence for a moment, contemplating on what to wear. I had many outfits, but I wasn't about to put on a fashion display for my mother. Stopping my snack, I looked to Sophie and thought, what dresses do you suggest?
Well, you can always wear the white one your mother bought from France. Then there's also the red one from Spain.
And she might
It looks good on you.
She might hate the white one. Ugh. Red or white? It was a simple choice, but I almost felt like laughing at the choice itself. Something about it was hilarious to me, and I couldn't put my finger on why. I finally made up my mind and said, we're going white.
Ooh, lovely choice, ma'am. Are you sure about the white one?
Yeah, my mother doesn't like it tough. I'm sure. Nah, let's go with red now, I'm sure. Sophie nodded and got my white dress from the closet.
Let's get you cleaned up, ma'am. Then we'll get this dress on you.
Yeah, don't force it on me this time. Getting into dresses was a tiring process. First I had to clean, using an unnecessary large bath to wash in. Then I had to be dried, which required me and Sophie to do it in a reasonable amount of time. After that, I had to powder and put on my underclothes, which included a corset. Ow! Sophie, you don't need to... Sophie, you're trying to kill me!
Just
I think a corset requires being put on with love, not trying to suffocate the person wearing it. I can just imagine in this time period doing all that. Corsets were a pain. Yeah, I can feel the pain. Then we finally got to put on the dress. It was easy to slip on, and it only took Sophie a minute to tie up to fit me perfectly. I stood in front of my large vanity mirror, checking out my dress. I smiled at my choice. It was a lovely dress with lace and ribbons. I dared to think I looked like an angel in it. Sophie quickly found a white ribbon and tied it into my hair.
You look so lovely, Mum. I'm jealous.
Thank you, Sophie. You're the best. Sophie smiled and bowed to me graciously. I turned back to the mirror and stared at myself a little longer, wondering what Alexander would think of it. It wasn't sexy, but it was still elegant and mature. This is Newport. The sound of horses made me quickly look away from the mirror to look at my window. I rushed over and looked out to see a large carriage stopping in front of my house.
Who's that? I don't recognize the carriage.
It's Isaac Newport. I don't either. I stared at the carriage a while longer, unable to tear my eyes away. Who was visiting us, and today of all days? The door of the carriage opened, and out stepped a handsome man looking to be around my age. He was dressed in casual suit with brushed hair and an anxious smile. As per his protocol, Alexander stepped out of the mansion and greeted him. They spoke to each other briefly before Alexander escorted him inside. What did this man want?
Could it be that Newport son who sent you that letter?
Geez, Sophie, can you say that in one breath? Ah, Isaac. Why would it be him? Why would he even come?
He's come to court you. Oh my, this is exciting.
Yeah, of course. Sophie finds everything exciting. She probably would find a coin. Sophie's the kind of person that would probably find the littlest, like the little speck of dirt, and be excited about it. She's full of life, though. That's a good thing. I quickly looked back to the carriage, trying to piece the logic together. He did wish to meet with me, but why come to my home? Yeah, we could have met cordially somewhere else. Was he that desperate? Yeah, probably. I sighed and exited my room with Sophie close behind. I felt the obligation to greet him creep into my gut. So I followed it all the way to the main lobby. Here he is, all prim and proper. I stepped into the lobby to see the man and Alexander conversing to one another. At the sound of my footsteps, however, they stopped and looked at me. I wonder, because there are a lot of people out there to this day who use butlers and stuff. I wonder how much a butler and a maid job actually pays. I've always wondered where they sleep too. Unless they have their own rooms within them where they work, like in the mansion. Well, I don't know. Never used one before, but I know there's still a thing, like hotels or something like that. Waiters, with wear the tux and stuff at fancy get-togethers days would be sort of like them too. So, sort of like them. Alexander seemed surprised at my outfit. Did he like it? I looked at him and gently tilted my head in confusion. Yeah, that's what a dog does when they look at you. They just tilt their head. Alexander cleared his throat. Quickly shook his head and cleared his throat. Sophie stifled another giggle.
Mr. Newport, may I introduce the current lady of the house, Miss Bold. As I was introduced, I climbed down the stairs of my grand staircase.
I reached the bottom and walked out to where the two men were awaiting me, with Sophie 2 steps behind me.
Oh, wow. Allow me to say you look absolutely stunning, Miss Beaumont.
Thank you, Mr. Newport. I presume according to my butler.
Yes, Isaac Newport. It's a pleasure to finally meet you at last.
He held out a hand, wanting me to place mine in it. Did I want to? My mother wasn't around, so I didn't necessarily have to be polite to that extent. I'm pretty sure you still do. Give him your hand or simply nod. I don't know what to choose. It said we didn't have to be polite, but still. We should probably be proper. I mean, Elizabeth, you flatter me. Thank you. Look, Alexander standing in there with all folded. Do I hint a little jealousy there, buddy? I placed my hand in Isaac's, watching him smile gently before bringing my hand to his lips and brushing his lips over my knuckles. A gulp barely caught my attention, causing my eyes to quickly look over and see Alexander staring at my hand intently. I detect a hint of jealousy. What was he gulping for? Might I ask why you are here?
Oh, well, I was in town and I was passing by your estate, so I decided to come by. Possibly meet
Are
you.
you sure about that?
Obviously, it was a good choice.
Okay, he has to know somebody that knows me, because there's no way in heck he was just passing through. That's what a lot of people say. I was just passing through. Yeah. I see. Well, I'm afraid I usually deal with scheduled meetings, so I'm not sure that I can entertain you.
Oh, no, I wasn't insinuating anything of the sort. I merely wished to stop by and meet you, that's all.
I understand. Well, since you did stop by, allow me to offer you some tea. I looked back over my shoulder at Sophie, who quickly nodded and stepped forward ahead of me towards Isaac.
Would you follow me to the drawing room, please? I'll prepare some tea and bring it as soon as it's ready.
Thank you so much.
I bit my tongue. Sophie was definitely a great actress around guests. Sophie, so she's serious among guests, but she's all hyper energetic around you. I wonder how she acts around her mother, Lady Beaumont. Sophie and Isaac walked away towards the drawing room. I wonder what is the drawing room. Leaving Alexander and me alone. I let out a sigh.
Is something troubling you, my lady?
No, I'm just surprised is all. Alexander nodded, standing at the ready for any instruction I had. I looked in the direction of the drawing room and bit my lip. I didn't want to sit in there with him, especially if my mother was coming to home today. Who knows what she would think?
My lady, if I may speak my mind.
I turned to look at Alexander. I think we'll read it one more and then we'll probably close out this episode. Oh, go ahead. Oh? Go ahead.
You look absolutely stunning in that dress.
I knew it. Thank you. I stared, suddenly turning red in the face at his compliment. He thought I looked stunning. And I don't know how long I've been recording, honestly. But I think... Hang on. I looked to the ground, unable to reply back. Alexander cleared his throat and stood back at attention, awaiting for me to either give him orders or leave. Just my luck, however. I turned my head to the front door, hearing another set of horses. And that would be our mother, Lady Beaumont. And I think this is where we're going to conclude this episode of My Lady. I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you next time.